Tom Cruise, the adrenaline-fueled icon whose name evokes high-octane chases and gravity-defying stunts, stepped into a rare realm of reflection during his acceptance of the Honorary Oscar at the Governor's Awards. The Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award, bestowed for his decade-spanning contributions to cinema and philanthropy, provided a stage not for explosions or espionage, but for introspection. Cruise's speech, delivered with the same intensity that powers his mission, Impossible franchise, wove a tapestry of personal origin story, artistic passion, and unwavering commitment to the silver screen's magic. My love for cinema began at a very early age, as early as I can remember, he began, his voice steady yet laced with the wonder of reminiscence, transporting the audience back to a boy's first encounter with film's transformative power. Picture a young Tommy Cruise, not yet the global superstar but a wide-eyed kid in a modest theater somewhere in Kentucky or New Jersey, hometowns that shaped his restless spirit. The room darkens, the projector hums to life, and that singular beam of light slices through the gloom like a promise. I remember that beam of light just cut across the room, and I remember looking up and it seemed to be just exploded on the screen, Cruise recounted, his gestures mimicking the arc of illumination, hands framing an invisible portal. In that instant the mundane dissolved, the world expanded. What was once a small-town existence, marked by his father's stern shadow and a family's frequent moves, burst into boundless possibility. That light wasn't mere technology, it was a spark, igniting hungers that would define his life, for adventure, mirroring the daredevil feats of Top Gun, for knowledge, fueling the meticulous prep behind Jerry Maguire's emotional precision, for understanding humanity, evident in the layered vulnerability of Magnolia. Cruise's narrative arc mirrors the films he champions, heroes' journeys fraught with trials yet triumphant in resolve. Suddenly the world was so much larger than the one that I knew, he continued, his eyes scanning the star-studded room, connecting with fellow dreamers like Nicole Kidman or Steven Spielberg, collaborators turned legends. This epiphany, born in celluloid glow, propelled him from high school wrestler to risky business breakout, then to Rain Man Oscar bait and eyes wide shut enigma. But beyond blockbusters, Cruise's speech underscored cinema's empathetic core. It sparked a hunger to create characters, to tell a story, to see the world. His portrayals, Maverick's bravado masking loss, Lestat's seductive menace in Interview with the Vampire, aren't mere escapism. They're mirrors reflecting our fears, desires, and redemptions. The beam's legacy extends to philanthropy, the Hersholt's humanitarian hook. Cruise's work with the Church of Scientology's anti-drug initiatives, his advocacy for film preservation via the Cruise Foundation, and quiet donations to children's hospitals echo that light's expansive reach. It opened my eyes. It opened my imagination to the possibility that life could expand far beyond the boundaries that I then perceived in my own life. He said, a line that resonated amid industry woes, streaming wars, AI threats, post-strike recoveries. In a town often criticized for self-absorption, Cruise positioned himself as steward, following that beam to uplift others. His production company, backing diverse voices in Jack Reacher sequels or emerging indies, embodies this ethos. Repeating for emphasis, that beam of light opened a desire to open the world, and I have been following it ever since. Cruise circled back to origins, a rhetorical flourish underscoring persistence. At 63, post-Top Gun, Maverick's billion-dollar revival, and amid Mission Impossible's escalating stakes, he scaled the Burj Khalifa. Next, a submarine heist, he remains the boy in the theater. The speech, clocking under 5 minutes yet dense with poetry, avoided self-aggrandizement, focusing instead on collective inspiration. Attendees, from Cynthia Erivo to Ryan Gosling, nodded in recognition. Cinema as communal right, binding us across divides. Cruise's words linger as manifesto. Pursue the light, expand horizons, tell truths. In an era of quick-scroll content, his tribute reaffirms film's enduring spell, a beam cutting through darkness, forever altering trajectories.